I've got something for DBT to demo. Let me just find the right window as usual. Okay, so what I'm going to show is a change to the way that DBT environments work. So if you remember some of the demos from a few weeks ago, when you are in a branch, you would pop this pop-down open, and it would show you options to type in a schema name and sometimes a database name. Where this is all going is instead of doing that for each branch that you open, environments are going to be long-lived. So when you create a new DBT connection, you enter the target schema. That's like the bare minimum you need to make an environment, and it'll go down there after you make it. It'll show up as this production default environment. And then, so when you're in branch mode, you can just select from existing environments that you've already made, or you can make a new one. And the reason for all this is that there's a lot more to environments than just a schema. And so now when you go to edit an environment, you're presented with this new dialog. In particular, this target name is new, and it's something that a customer needed in the past. Most of the time, people don't need this, but it affects the way that the DBT code gets compiled. And in some cases, you need it for things to work correctly. And then variables is the bigger thing. This has come up somewhere between 5 and 10 times where customers need or want some sort of environment variable. Usually what we've seen is it has to do with they're using environment variables to determine like which database models are going to go into. And in one case, a customer needed a variable that was like a secret in order to pull down Git dependencies, like DBT dependencies. So you can do all of that now. If you need to store something secret, you name it dbtn secret, this prefix. Here I'm just matching the way that DBT Cloud works. DBT Cloud does the same thing where you use that prefix to indicate that it's a secret value. And you can add, remove, etc., all of these things. So I think that's everything I wanted to cover.
Buck, when you name the variable, whether it's dbt underscore a or dbtn secret underscore a, like in your code, do you refer to it as a or do you refer to it as dbt underscore a?
As it just gets passed through into the environment variables that are used when you run DBT commands. So this does not get manipulated. It's just dbt underscore a. And the reason for requiring the prefix, for me, there's like, I'm mimicking what DBT Cloud is doing, but also from a security point of view, it prevents you from like specifying that you're going to override the path or something like that.
Gotcha. So if you're in your DBT repository or my DBT repository, it's sort of a standard that I only use environment variables that are prefixed with DBT.
Yeah, it's common, and especially if you're using DBT Cloud already, you have to do it because those are the way that they do it. So yeah, it's common, and a lot of the docs sort of give DBT underscore as an example.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a wonky setup, but I think it was a completely rational choice to just follow what they do. Different question. Do you think this, I know we've run into people who do like some pretty wonky stuff with like configuring the names of schemas and so forth when they run DBT. Do you think we have all of those cases covered by this, or are there still some cases where people can do weird stuff there?
This would cover the last of all the cases that I've seen, and I'm not really sure what else you could do that we wouldn't be covered at this point, because the way that we run the DBT code is going to like perfectly match the way that they're running it to determine. So like the way that we execute the code has been identical, and now all that's missing is sort of these runtime environment variables. And environment variables are, as far as I know, the only configuration you can provide at runtime.
Cool. So yeah, all the inputs should be the same. Therefore, if you're doing crazy logic with it, that's on you. we'll still get the same outputs because we have the same inputs.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
And I'm going to need somebody to stop sharing for me again. Thanks.